All good? Ready to go? Thanks for chatting to me.
Thank you for having me.
What do I call you? That's my first question.
You know perfectly well it's Byron.
Do you go by Braden anymore?
No, I don't. That was a phase. It's Byron.
Why not?
Braden was my slave name.
I'm struggling to understand exactly what you mean by any of that.
Well, frankly, and as a historian, I think that this is objectively the worst dating market that humanity has ever known. You could go back 800 years, 8,000 years. It's never been harder for a man to date a woman.
What do you think that is?
What's happening, Joseph, is we are living under the shadow of hypergamy. And this is all part of the matriarchal system that isn't just an authoritarian in our lives, but an authoritarian saying, ooh, look over there, freedom. That's authoritarianism. That's what's happening, Jonathan. That's what's going on. Hypergamy. And it isn't hyperbole to say that.
What is your opinion of women?
What I'm saying, Jeremy, is there's something going wrong with society.
What do you think that is?
It's not just about length, is it? The power as well.
To the uninitiated, and let's be honest, probably the rather confused among us, can you explain to me what Looksmaxxing is for you and what it does for you?
Looksmaxxing is a continuation of all the sort of hyperbolic shit and fluff we've seen from the gym industry since about the 70s or 80s. My own research as a science has shown that people haven't really started to care in the same way about the face for the last 20 years, simply because the technology wasn't there. Think about it. It was a lot easier to make a clock tower before it was to make a wristwatch. Same thing, doing the abs. That's a lot easier to do than, on the face and get a nice defined, beautiful, high-jawed, high-cheeked face like mine, like we're all going for, we're all striving for, the ultimate, beautiful ideal. Anya Taylor-Joy, or what's her name, Presley, who was in My Name is Earl.
Can you take me through in detail what your routine is and what you've done from a young age?
Incredible lengths, but really no lengths at all. All I take is testosterone and just a little bit, just a little pinch of everything, all of it. I mean, testosterone, benzos, uppers, downers, crowners, crowders. I'm into it all. I'll try anything. Fountain of youth, putting goat cum on my face, milk therapy, clams, broken vacuum cleaners, epoxy floor, microphone stand, Glidden paint. That's a good brand. Do you want a PDF? Do you want an Excel spreadsheet? I don't use Excel. I use OpenOffice. But it can save in the same format as Excel.
Oh, well, let me ask you this then. Can we run through a few things? When did you start taking testosterone?
5 years ago when I was 14.
14 years of age. What possessed you to start doing that?
But the important thing about drugs is that you start early.
What about bone smashing? I've heard you speak about that. What does that involve?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's smashing yourself in the face with a hammer. I personally use my own fists because they are made of adamantium. And it's Wolf's Law. You make yourself look more manly. Wider cheekbones. Ideally, if it was safer, I would smash myself in the middle here, in between the eyebrows, with a small pin hammer so I could separate the eyes to look more manly. Like Anya Taylor-Joy. Or that girl from the PlayStation 1 commercials who had a big bubble head. Right, and I had a friend who, his friend stayed over at her apartment while she wasn't there. Like, I'm not in New York. Stay there, and he said it was massive. It was like an industrial warehouse, and the ceiling was covered in mold.
And meth. I've seen you say you take meth. Do you do that for your appearance?
Not anymore. Why do you have some? Does anybody have any meth?
Why would you do that? Why?
Well, I just don't see any downsides. I mean, it suppresses appetite, and it helps you achieve the masculine look that everyone is objectively going for, like Carly Kloss.
You take a blunt instrument to your face and repeatedly hit it. What does that achieve?
I just explained it. You hit yourself, Wolf's Law, your cheekbones get bigger, more of a man, higher value, and you tailor joy.
You know doctors and medical experts will listen to what you say and shake their head and go, you're crazy for doing that, and it sends a horrible message. Do you deny that?
You know, they don't look past headlines, they take clips out of context because they don't understand new media.
Have you suffered any side effects from what you do?
No.
I've heard you describe yourself as infertile.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that's a problem. You can get drugs for that and stuff because my uncle couldn't have kids, and he was married to a woman and they had a kid.
Watching your content is like learning another language sometimes. You talk about ascending, mogging. Can you explain to me what that means?
Ascending just means getting better, and mogging is just outshining someone. So if you're taller than someone, you outmog them in terms of height. Mogging.
Are you mogging me right now?
I might be money mogging you, status mogging you. I'm from the hemisphere. I might be hemisphere mogging you.
Well, your whole persona and shtick is about appearance and looks, right? So would you say your looks mogging me right now?
I can't really see you in this light. It's very bright down here in Australia. Maybe. I mean, probably. You're probably an ugly fucker. I wouldn't know.
All right. Well, how about this? If I was to come to you for advice, which you give out readily, would you say that I need to do something to myself to ascend?
You're very far away, so I can't say definitively, but one piece of advice that works for me and pretty much everyone I know is you should hit yourself in the face a bit more.
Is a lot of what you say on your videos and online about gaining attention more than necessarily it being what you truly believe?
If you're not genetically gifted, you're just not going to appeal to anyone, you're just not going to get up there in the world. You may as well live in a zoo and be a lobster boy. That's just the truth, the brutal truth. Everybody who isn't hot, for your own good.
Do you feel the weight of responsibility at all? And do you reflect on the fact that the people following you are looking for something, looking for some guidance, and you might be sending them down a really dark, sad path?
Well, this is advice that I would live by, and I don't really see what the problem is. If someone gets hurt, that isn't me. Why do I care? Other people aren't me.
Well, people would say because you are the person sending that message out. We see people taking hammers to their face and bone smashing. We see people talking about taking drugs because they look at you, a rather attractive young man, and then want to emulate that and emulate you. So do you feel bad about that?
Maybe the government could issue a thing where, like, the less people I negatively affect or virtually destroy, the more of a stipend I could get.
I ask you that, though, because the people who will watch you and emulate that aren't exactly medical experts, and they wouldn't be doing it under any intense supervision.
Well, doctors just prescribe pharmaceuticals. My approach is more holistic, like a psychiatrist who is open to ley lines and chuff.
You don't give off this sense that you're incredibly happy and fulfilled.
You're trying to make this political. This is not political. This is about Looksmaxxing. I am not political at all.